on my mind. Small days is a good time. Remember some little children. I'm gonna sing it on the dance, really admire them. Small days is still on their mind. Small days is a good time. Remember some little children. I'm gonna sing it on the dance, really admire them. Yes, they're singing. Ching, ching, ching. Poverty. Playing a band. Poverty. See for mama. Poverty. Get 10 fat chickens. Poverty. And ask you for one. Poverty. And she won't give me one. Poverty. You see that garden? Poverty. Named Dorothy. Poverty. She fat like a butter. Poverty. And she muggle like a chow. Poverty. Oh, small days is still on my mind. Small days is a good time. Never had some little children. I'm gonna sing it and dance, that's really admire them. What they're singing? On your carpet, you must be like the roses, all you need, bright and shining, you must be, and show me the one, love the best. When I marry, I give you the ring. First the girl, second the boys, Sunday, Monday, afternoon, we will spend our honeymoon. Oh, small days is still on my mind. Small days is a good time. Neighbor, some little children. I'm gonna sing it on the dance, let's really admire them. Join the singing. Hold my house on fire. You'll not run away. He ran for the police to get the water. He only fire down there. Escalated, shoot, shoot, shoot. Escalated, shoot, shoot, shoot. And I wipes the lady face. The lady wipes the lady face. And she fell down, fell.
All right, good morning. Welcome to, well, I was about to say straight up, but it's the morning show. It's 40 minutes after 10 o'clock in Georgetown, Guyana. Whatever the time is over wherever you are, whether it's morning or afternoon or evening, night, we welcome you. Not so much positive news coming out of Guyana, and everyone seemed to be quiet at this time. There's no word from the Guyana Defense Force. There's no word from the installed PPP regime. They are prepared to speak to only CNN, CBS, BBC, and Al Jazeera, and so forth and so on. That's the sort of audience they're looking for. It's all a publicity stunt. It's all a stunt where they're looking for some sort of political mileage or something of the sort. No update as yet on the surviving soldiers. I say surviving soldiers because one time you're hearing that of the two survivors, one is no longer with us, and then you're not hearing anything from the Guyana Defense Force. Absolutely nothing. No updates, no nothing. They have just left citizens on their own just to speculate and speculate. And you know what happens when you speculate? There should have been ball by ball commentary. Despite what Jack Dave is saying that they expect us to say every minute. Of course you have to do that. You have to talk to the citizens of your country. You're not doing that, and they have failed. The so-called installed regime, they have failed. Failed. That is why citizens have to speculate as to what's happening. Now last evening they were quiet. They were mulling the issue. Relatives of Lieutenant Andio Michael Crawford got news from others within the Guyana Defense Force, all manner of things, and they are silent on these matters. What do you expect people to feel? How do you expect them to feel? Sorry. It is a shame and disgrace that even until this time, nobody's saying anything. No one is saying anything. But we got some good news. I know last evening, multiple sources, people were confused. They haven't rushed these guys to seek any sort of medical attention. People don't know the conditions of these young men. these soldiers. But all we're hearing is that, oh, bad weather, and they're still in the area of the crash. The crash site, that's where they are, and that's it. And nobody knows anything, nothing at all. And I can just imagine, mind you, how folks are feeling at this point in time. I can just imagine. People don't want to get any sad news that they have lost a loved one. Whether it's Christmas time, whether it's Pagwa time, whether it's Easter, it doesn't matter at no time at all. And the family members of these two survivors um, should be briefed. They should be visited by the 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 higher ones, the echelons in the Guyana Defense Force and the politicians and so forth. They should have visited the members of these survivors. Sorry. As I'm speaking to you, I'm reading messages just coming in from individuals who have information and so forth. And let me just say to you guys, as some of you are watching, you know that I'm live as well. And when you send me voice notes, I just can't read or hear or concentrate properly. So I just take my headphones off. Sorry about that. And so nobody's being briefed properly as to what is happening. No one is being briefed. It's like the entire nation just left naked out there to fend on their own. Absolutely nothing. And so last evening, just getting the information that there's a possibility that one may not be with us. One may not be with us. Multiple sources were of that view. Multiple sources. Those in the GDF, they didn't find, have the decencies to step out and say a word on what's really happening. The silence of the Guyana government, as one person is saying here, on this helicopter tragedy is deafening. And all of us have to take careful note. I don't know how many of you guys saw a video yesterday. A video of a helicopter in front, what I believe is Camp Ghana. And it can't even move. It can't even get up. It was struggling to just get off the ground. Struggling to get off the ground. The senior guys in the Guyana Defense Force, they were not concerned about the quality of helicopters or 2 or 3 helicopters that they purchased through their friends and cronies. They weren't concerned about that. And Air Finale and these Pakus in the PPP regime, they weren't concerned about that. Guess what they were concerned about? And guess what they were pulling some soldiers into for fitness and so forth and so on. The helicopter video was circulated all over social media. All over. But guess what the regime and those big boys in the Guyana Defense Force were more concerned about? Who leaked the video? That is what they were concerned about, who leaked the video. And so they started grilling the soldiers. It was right there in front, I believe, Camp Ghana. People passed, people saw it. It was right there for the public to see. And this is the sort of corruption they're involved in at this point in time. In my opinion, my humble opinion, it appears that the regime and those senior guys, not all of them, because not all the senior guys in the Guyana Defense Force are on board with this crap that's happening, that the Guyana Defense Force has been hijacked by PPP operatives. That is what's happening. But for those of you who are now tuning in, joining us, it appears from all indication that there are still 2 survivors. And we want that to be the case. 2 survivors. Still 2 survivors. And we want that to be the case. The government, the so-called government, they are on a mission to cover up what is happening. And as you're not getting information, they are covering up. They are afraid for real information to get out there. And that to me is questionable. Why are they covering things up? Why don't they want to talk to you? Why is the Guyana Defense Force guy so silent? Why? Why? You just got to speculate, right? But look, we were able to get earlier this morning a photograph, and you guys recognize the lieutenant in the front, and I suspect that's the lieutenant. If you take a look at the photograph of the guy in front, the lieutenant, his buddies are trying to cheer him up and say, well, look, this is what's happening here. He got a little medical bag, I believe, in front of him, and his squaddies are trying to cheer him up. Look at that. This is the it appears to be the crash site. That's the soldier. That's the lieutenant in front there. Adinio Michael Crawford, a soldier who has survived. We are seeing what has happened here. If you take a closer look, guys, take a look at this soldier. Take a look at him. Take a look at his face. There's no need for me to explain at all what's going through his mind. Just take a look. He doesn't deserve this. But I'm glad that his squaddies are there with him. I'm glad that those members of the search team were able to get there, were able to get these guys. This guy is not interested in I'm not saying that I knocked the photograph or anything, but this is what they should have done to the family members. Call the family members of these two surviving soldiers and say to them, or issue a release immediately with the photographs to say that the survivors are coping and we are trying our best. This is 2023, guys, not 1923. Talk to the public, respect the public, talk to the family members, respect them as well. Don't get people speculating. Don't get people worried and all manner of things. This lieutenant, this soldier, he is in pain. And for good reasons, obvious reasons, just crashed. His helicopter just crashed. Five of his colleagues died. Only God knows what. I'm going to leave it right there so that you guys can just read his facial expression. You guys, you see the pain on his face. It's not easy. It's not easy. When he's out of that area, he doesn't need to be seen in photographs with Irfan Ali and Jack Deo and those Pakus who caused this to happen. He needs counseling, proper counseling. If possibly, he needs to be flown out of Guyana immediately for proper care. He doesn't deserve this. He nor the others. What about the other surviving soldier? What's happening with him? Are they briefing his family? Just like when the soldiers a couple days ago, or maybe a week or whatever, Irfan Ali called the family members of some soldiers, just for that, just for a little photo op publicity. Call them in at State House or wherever to have breakfast or lunch or whatever to eat, and to talk about fast tracking house lots applications. That's what's important for these guys, you know. Irfan Ali and Jack Deo and the bunch of Pakus that they are. That's all that is important for them. But we're not hearing anything that the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force has met with even the fallen soldiers' relatives. We're not seeing no photographs of that, consoling the family members. We're not seeing anything that the quote unquote commander in chief has visited the family members. These people are like so classless. They love to call people low lives, but they need to look in the mirror. They have absolutely no class. But look at what, we're not seeing anything of that sort. We're not seeing even a photograph of the chief of staff going anywhere or doing anything or talking to anybody. But yet he comes at a press conference and want to impress on us that, oh, he's been busy in meetings. Oh, they have been busy. Mush mouth. Oh, they have been busy in meetings and just come out from another meeting. I've had about 20 meetings. I've had meetings doing what? I just had some meetings. I just say, hi, yeah, Mr. Mosley, Mr. Mosley. I just came back, as you know, I've been busy. Yeah, Mr. Mosley. And then when Mr. Mosley done another question, this is Big Smith. I don't know what's going on with the Guyana Defense Force, man. I just don't know. But these guys deserve better. Outside of that, something is telling me. Something is telling me. Something. And let's go back and show you guys this photograph. These are the guys on the ground. On the ground. And we look at these guys, and people love to call them hungry belly dogs. They love to call them all sort of names. And these are the guys who are out there putting their lives on the line, defending the country, defending the very people who describe them as hungry belly dogs and no good. They're lazy. They don't like work. They don't this. Look who's out there defending the country. The same thing Malcolm Harry Paul was talking about. Freedom of speech. Malcolm Harry Paul was talking about this here. Look who are the ones defending the country right now. Malcolm Harry Paul spoke about that. Malcolm himself, a former lieutenant of the Guyana Defense Force. Look, this is Malcolm Harry Paul. And guess what they did to Malcolm? For speaking the truth. They charged him. Racial incitement. Racial incitement. They charged him. And only yesterday, Jack Dio, I don't know what weed or whether he's mixing his weed with cocaine or whatever, he said that they don't target people for their opinion and the government doesn't target. Well, give me a break. They targeted Malcolm Harry Paul recently. They charged him. They shackled him. They handcuffed him. They locked him up for 2 days or whatever. That's what they do. That's what they do. Jack Dio and the PPP, they're notorious for these sort of things. Yep, this is not propaganda. They locked up Malcolm Harry Paul for speaking the truth after Jack Dio and all of these PPP bagoos described soldiers as hungry belly dogs and so forth. You get that dunce one by the name of Critic. The same thing, that's what they do. They love to curse out people. That seems to be the nature. That's how they're running the country right now. Everything for them. Hungry belly dogs. But look who are the ones defending the country. Look who are the ones defending the country. The same people they like to call hungry belly dogs. The same people. They need to address the nation. Irfan Ali needs to come out of his nest, come out from underneath that Christmas tree and address the nation. Get away from those Christmas lights and address the nation. The Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force need to come out from all the meetings. I got meetings. Give us a break. Meetings. Again, good morning to all of you who are now joining us. Some good news again. Good news. There's still 2 survivors. 2 Look at Lieutenant Crawford, um, who put his life on the country, for the country, sorry, put his life on the line. Doesn't sit and chat, goes out there and put his life on the line. We got to salute this soldier. We got to salute him. Take a look again. Take a look, guys. Take a look at this lieutenant. Take a look at his face. You got to pray for him. Take a moment, whatever religion you practice, take a moment and pray for this lieutenant. And they love to call people looking like him. They love to call them hungry belly dogs, right? They love to call them hungry belly dogs. They love to call them hungry belly dogs. But look at what's happening. Look at who putting their lives on the line. Take a look. The very people they like to call hungry belly dogs. And we must shut our mouth. We mustn't say anything. We must be afraid to talk because Jack there, right? Nah. Nah. All right, so yeah, sorry about that. I thought we had a caller there for a quick moment. If you guys want to call up, just feel free to call up. It's okay. Just feel free to call up. Um, Feel free to call me. Let me get your opinion. In fact, I have a caller on the line already. We got who is it? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Rhonda. How are you doing?
I am okay. Just looking at some news that may be very conflicting at this time.
Yes, we have here on the page the soldiers. We have the Lieutenant Michael Crawford. We're looking at a photograph of him here. What is your take on this whole secret approach, this secrecy that we are seeing right now? And by the way, let me wish you, it's your birthday today, right?
Yes, thanks very much.
Happy birthday, Rhonda. Lots of people. But what is your take on this secrecy that we're not hearing much at all about this crash?
You know, my first scenario is that the install regime is handling everything that is of natural interest in Guyana under seclusion. Now you're living in North America and had something like this from the starting when the install heads left this country as Maduro was preparing to have a referendum to take away 2/3 of this country and went off to God knows where. That shows the incompetence of the install regime. Then later we head down to this crash, and to date none of them have given any proper facts about the crash. Yesterday they were to go and bring up the bodies. They claim they saw 3 people waving. Then they claim that they don't have proper weather, where the pattern is up and down because it's the rainy season. Just because we are getting a little bit of rain. And in the interior would get more rain because of the vegetation and the different things. But Guyana, after becoming an oil-rich nation, should have been able to have proper equipment to traverse the terrain of Guyana. When more than half of Guyana is a populated place with dense forests, mountains and all the like. And for me, I am very much annoyed at the type of information we are getting on these soldiers. Last night I got the news that Lieutenant Crawford, he lives in the village. I know him personally, had died. So I don't know what it is going on. And what's the secrecy of this mission? Now, Mark, we have got to remember, it was being said that at the Timeri military borders, Venezuelans are working there. Now you're going to have Venezuelans in your military base working as people? Does Guyana know the quality of migrants that are here from Venezuela? None of them know. And if you are an embedded person, you will come like a beggar, a street person, a bum, and fit yourself into strategic points and be leaking out secrets of this country. That's why when you get a head of state should be a well-rounded person. And they think that they have a head of state is no good. And I, as a citizen, I am totally annoyed over this whole Venezuelan Guyana problem because there is no help in sight and we don't have anybody in the fraudulent government to guide us and to give us correct readings. And if it is true, and I thank God if that picture is true, that the soldiers are alive, they wrecked a lot of people's lives with the news from yesterday that 5 soldiers died. We keep doing minute silence, playing final last call and that kind of thing. So now to hear that these men are alive.
Yeah, they're talking about it appears that the five, including retired Brigadier Beaton, Colonel Shahood, Lieutenant Welcome, and Lieutenant Colonel, Welcome, and Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, and Staff Sergeant Jason Kahn. They are dead. But what was circulating yesterday is that of the 2 survivors, Corporal Dwayne Jackson and Lieutenant Andio Michael Crawford, that of the 2, 1 died. Multiple reports came in to suggest that it was Crawford. We are hearing a different story this morning that is not the case. But I understand what you're saying, that the family members of these guys, nobody informed them properly. The entire country was led to believe that one of the 2 survivors succumbed. This morning, we were sent photographs. We were assuming that this photograph was taken this morning that includes Mr. Crawford, Lieutenant Crawford, which shows that he is still alive. We're not hearing anything from the so-called commander-in-chief. Neither are we hearing anything from the top brass of the Guyana Defense Force. What's the mood like in the village, knowing that Lieutenant Crawford is from the Namstel area?
Well, the mood, because this morning I was on the road and I said to a mom of a soldier that this boy is dead, and she said to me, "Run the fake news," and she walked off. So when she said that, I left standing in a like stupid, and now we're seeing this. I don't know what else to say, man. And this is bad because if these people aren't dead and they try to say, well, we're going to set it dead so that it could continue in the intelligence gathering and certain things. At least they should have come out and give people some kind of thing. But because they leave people, the install regime, leave people are clutching at straws.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100. People will speculate because they're not hearing anything from the Guyana Defense Force other than occasionally a press release. How many ordinary citizens, majority of the people don't have access to the press release? They want to hear, they want to see these guys. They should have had a proper press conference other than the one that was held by the Chief of Staff, Omar Khan. I don't know. What's the word about, what is your take on this helicopter? All we're hearing is them saying, oh, it was bad weather. And so that's it. And so we must dismiss it as bad weather. That's it. And done. What's your take?
Now, Mark, if you know it's bad weather, you got things going go, don't go out in the bad weather. If now, let me tell you something. I tell people, I'm a poor woman. And I don't go and buy nothing with second hand. Yeah? I tell people, let I make it second hand. This country will got all this money. Why this country must they buy in about 10, 20,000 and thing and bring it in? Because here the helicopter was no good when it came here. They had to spray paint it, they had to scrub off rust with by a brush and polish with steel and make it. Why this country doing that? And taking the country wealth and spending it on themselves. Now, as soon as this country became an oil-rich nation, this country should know that we got to remove from being, we got to get things to guard our wealth. And if you're going and fight war, you think if they take some of the oil money, buy two proper helicopter, a little war tank, and got it parading brand new, got money. Maduro would have said these people building up the military might. Every time outside go and buy a new war thing, people say, well, they're fortifying the military arm. Well, Guyana ain't doing that. Our Guyana doing is fortifying places like Partners, Hussein, Sheriff, Security. Some of them little guys got some big gun, I don't know. They only left for the throw the bus off the road with the weight, walking around all around the place. And the police and the defense don't have that type of weaponry. And if it is true,
yeah,
Mark, I'm sorry, if it is true that these soldiers are alive and well, do you think should disaster befall any soldier, do you think the country, the APNU section of the country will rise up and give solidarity? Well, I wouldn't be doing it because you don't fool me more than one time.
Well, what they're saying, Rhonda, it's already official based on what we have been hearing over the past 24 hours, that 5 soldiers have died. 5 soldiers have died. 5 senior, some of them are senior officers of the Guyana Defense Force. That has been confirmed. But there are 2 surviving soldiers. Last evening, we heard one is no longer with us. This morning, we're hearing something totally different. So the clearing up has to be with these 2 surviving soldiers. And of concern to me right now is whether they're getting proper medical attention. And the other is, when was this photograph taken? Was it taken this morning? Was it taken when they landed? We don't know. And what's the condition of this soldier, Lieutenant Crawford? What's the situation with him? What about his colleague? Nobody seems to know. And this corrupt PPP regime cannot, and the Guyana Defense Force head, they cannot blame people when people speculate. They cannot. They are the ones to be blamed. Omar Khan, Irfan Ali, his friend Irfan Ali, and that Paku Barajagdir, they are to be blamed. In fact, they're the ones who got these soldiers in this mess in the first place.
Of course.
Let me get to something before we go. I know it's your birthday. You want to go out. It's Rhonda's birthday.
No.
Happy birthday to you, Rhonda. Even under the circumstances, we just wish you all the best. But yesterday at his press conference, that Paku Jagdeo said that the PPP is not like Maduro. Maduro, when you criticize his government, they charge you with treason, they lock you up and all manner of things. That they don't do that in Guyana. But you were charged with some silly cybercrime, convicted, and had to pay a fine of $500,000. Talk to the people about that hypocrisy from Jagdeo.
Yes, Jagdeo could lie. You ain't got to go far back. Remember when the same PPP government had locked you up in solitary confinement for 5 years of treason? Huh? Don't go to me, talk about you. 5 years. You lost your child
Let us
being in the lockup.
Let us talk about you now. And I'm glad that you've mentioned that. 5 years in solitary confinement, yes. But here it is. And of course, the fact that during those excruciatingly painful years in solitary confinement, I lost a son. My eldest, my firstborn, died on this very day, the 8th of September, 2002. The 8th of September, this very day that you're celebrating your birthday, and that you just reminded everyone what Jack Deere did to me. But most recently, you spoke out. You spoke out, Rhonda, and they targeted you. But yet this Paku Jack Deere sat at a press conference to say only Maduro does that. They don't do it. But they did it to you.
And they do it to anybody who talks out against them. In whatever way or form, they try to destroy you.
Let me just, Rhonda, let me make a correction. Not September 8th. September 8th happens to be my birthday, but it is December 8th. Today is the anniversary, the death anniversary of my eldest son. And Jack Deere, these demons, these guys are demons. He had the audacity to sit at a press conference to say they don't jail anybody and for treason and all these manner of things. And look, I tell you guys, they charge me with treason, they charge me with sedition, they charge me with all manner of things. But yet they say that they don't do it to people. Maduro does it. These guys are not just like Maduro. In some cases, they're worse than Maduro. Worse. Maduro. You remember Waddle? Look at this. Waddle and Sean Hines claims that he was hired to kill journalist Ronald Waddle. Ronald Waddle was murdered because under the PVP regime, under Jack Deere's presidency, Ronald Waddle was murdered, was assassinated under the PVP.
Look.
Go ahead.
Look, Crummy Wing. Look, Crummy Wing. Crummy Wing is just telling people go and vote. And he was assassinated.
Yep. But yet Jack Deere has them. I don't know, something is wrong with that guy. Somebody called some mental institution or somewhere. He needs to be, just get him and put some shackles on him and take him to Borby Psychiatric Hospital. Take him to Borby's Psychiatric Hospital right now. That's where he belongs. That is where Jack Deere belongs right now. Anyways, before we move on, how do you plan on spending this birthday? Talk to us, please, Rhonda.
Mark, I'm keeping a church service at my home this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Because I'd like to be close to God. So I'm keeping a service in my house.
Oh, you're just keeping a service in your house. Okay. Whatever is it that you do, Rhonda, I want to, on behalf of all the folks who are watching, listening, to wish you all the best. You're a fighter. You go out there, you protest. You're not afraid like some of them only sit down on the veranda and talk nonsense and just post something and run and hide and they're frightened. You are a brave woman. And I salute you for that. And I say, happy birthday. And hey.
Yeah, Mark, sorry, me to cut in again. Before you go, I would like you to continue being strong and remembering your son that died, because I lost two children too. And don't matter how long they have died, at some time you will remember them. And you're going to remember your son until your dying day. But you will remember him in the good spirit, and you will study. He may have been just like Ryan, but God knows best. He gone before you. But I know because of that, you're stronger. So it isn't easy to lose a child. It isn't easy.
Absolutely.
So you take comfort in the thought of being the father of that child.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Rhonda Lane celebrating her 31st birthday anniversary.
63rd.
How old?
63rd.
Oh,
63.
63. Gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
I wish many, I mean, I know many of us wish we were there to celebrate it with you, Rhonda, but we
Yeah.
all know that you will have at least whatever little fun under the circumstances in that country. That those crosses in the PPP regime, they're just a bunch of crosses. I can just imagine how people are feeling. But we want you to have the best on this day, though, Rhonda. Anybody who wants
Okay.
to just call Rhonda and wish her a happy birthday, or if you have any little extra thing want to bless Rhonda up, bless her up today. It's her birthday. Rhonda, what's your phone number, please? I know you didn't ask me. We didn't plan this. I just called you. And honestly, I didn't know it was your birthday until somebody said that. So, guys, this wasn't planned. I called Rhonda because, as some Christians would say, the Spirit led me to call Rhonda. Rhonda, what's your phone number, please?
6880951. And you gotta put in the Guyana code.
Okay, so it's 592-688.
Yeah.
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 Zero what?
0951.
0951. 9, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 9.
Rhonda Lane.
Yeah.
The most famous protester in Guyana. The most famous protester in Guyana. Rhonda, when you go out, when you protest, do you feel afraid? Because they got a lot of people, I frighten me going out, I frighten. But you're never afraid. Talk to those pussycats who frighten and all these other things.
When I go out there, you know that you don't know what could happen. But you cannot allow that to stop you from going out there. Because there are things in Guyana that needs to be in the forefront. And if everybody sat down and said they ain't going, nothing will be in the same position that we are in and getting worse. But when a few of us go out there along with me to give word and to show our displeasure, we are afraid. Because when you go there, people would pass and sneering you with all kinds of words. Then you got the police on the other hand. Many of them are devout PPP. But what you could do, you're trying to fight a cause. If we sit down and say we wouldn't do it, if Coffee and the other slaves made up their minds to sit down and continue to accept what Master was doing, we would not have been freed from slavery, no part of the Western Hemisphere. Because we were here as slaves in North and South America, most of the African people. So you got to try and see what you could do.
Yeah,
it's fearful at times.
Thank you so much, Rhonda, for your strength, your courage.
Okay.
You encourage a lot. And again, your number is 688-0951.
Yes, man.
Yeah, hey guys, thank you so much, Rhonda. Appreciate it. And we all respect, salute, and we love you. Keep it up. And happy 33rd birth anniversary again to you, man. 33rd.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, a brave woman indeed. Always out there, always doing what is necessary to ensure that she stands up for her rights. And not only hers, she does that for everyone. Everyone she does that for. And we're very thankful for Rhonda. Happy birthday to you, Rhonda. Happy birthday. Rhonda is more courageous than a lot of men in Guyana who only talk. They love to talk. Oh, this and that. And you tell them to go and protest. They're afraid. They can't go and protest. They can't do nothing. For some, they believe doing a post or chit-chatting on Facebook Live is bravery. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. Any pussycat can do that, right? But it's taking to the streets to confront the oppressors. That is what you call bravery. A different form of bravery. And so, Rhonda, we salute you right here on 107.1 FM. And we appreciate what you do. despite the fact they go after you, they harass you, they persecute you, but you still continue to persevere. And we respect and we salute you for that. Happy birthday to Rhonda Lane. Rhonda Lane, happy birthday. Her number is right there on the screen, 688-0951. She's in Denamstel. Denamstel. You know, we don't ask for nothing here, but those who are have any little extra thing to spare, she didn't ask me to do it, but sometimes people are in need of those things. And sometimes people have to ask you for something. Bless them up. Bless them up. Bless up Rhonda in whatever way you can, even if it's a phone call, words of encouragement, because bless up is not only a tap up, you know. Bless up is not only a tap up. Bless up could be you call somebody, you just say thank you for what you do. That's a form of blessing up. So it's encouragement. Rhonda Lane, thank you for what you do. Thank you. Colin Barnwell, thank you for what you do. Malika Clark Zuckerberg, Ali, thank you for what you do. You thank people. You encourage them. But sometimes enough you always run away when you see somebody number, you just run and you say, "Bye, I broke today, bye." No. The number is on the screen, guys. It's 688-0951. 688-0951. Y'all don't let number run away and things are rough. Don't think it's all about money. Sometimes. But it's not all about money. Call and say thank you. If you get a little extra thing you could think up to, think up. Bless you up. She deserves it. All right, so what else is happening, guys? And some folks are asking for Rhonda's number. It's right there on the screen. She's in Guyana. She's Denhamstel. It's her birthday. She's 63. 63. 688-0951. That's Rhonda's number. She's also single. So Colin Barnwell and Carl Miller and Gavin Caesar. Well, Wayne is married, but she's also single. But respect her when you are called. She's also single. Beautiful 63-year-old woman. All right, so enough of that, though, but just put a little smile on her face out there. But she is a beautiful woman indeed. Monty and Nalia, y'all call her. I can't believe this. Look, Marcia Jackman, not Jackman, Jockman, is saying that, Mark, your programs are too short now. Yesterday I was on for over 3-4 hours and my program short. Holy smoke. Like y'all just want me I must drink Red Bull all my life. All my life I must drink Red Bull. All my life. Let me see what's going through your mind. I got a Red Bull right here. And you guys don't think me about Red Bull. Mark don't drink Red Bull. Mustn't drink Red Bull. Mark mustn't this. Mark mustn't that. Mark mustn't. All right, guys. What's happening? What's going through your mind? Talk to me this morning. I'm going to spend maybe another half hour. Don't know where Wayne Caesar is. He probably gone into hiding. Well, he's busy working though, but it's that time of the year. They're busy. But somebody messaged Wayne Caesar and asked where he is. What else is happening that we can talk about? See, people inboxing me. You shouldn't be drinking Red Bull. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. This time, some of them busy drinking high wine out there, bush rum, black sage tea, and all kind of thing. But poor me mustn't look. And I don't want to be disrespectful, so I mean, get time with nobody. Of course, I respect people's y'all opinion. We're like a family here, right? Whenever y'all see me put a picture, they must know what drinking, right? Red Bull in y'all. Good. So remove the picture shortly, but don't forget to go out and support Linda's restaurant. They got some nice stuff for you guys during the Christmas. And for y'all who want haircut and all kind of thing, don't forget go down to Exquisite. They're on Church Avenue, 53rd Street. And don't forget if you're looking for a lawyer, if you're going through a divorce, if your landlord kicking you out before Christmas, it's not a nice time to get kicked out by. Remember some old days by get kicked out by landlord for Christmas time. You gotta go next to some family to stay, and they put you next to a Christmas tree with a with a with a beat up old comforter. It's not a nice time. So if you know you're going through some problems with your landlords and landladies, call up Shalon Washington's law firm. Are you landlords and all kind of thing, but don't take care of y'all tenants right? Y'all tenants call Washington's law firm. Call them up and do whatever y'all got to do. Medical malpractice, if y'all going personal injuries, divorce, y'all call up Shalon. She will take care of you guys for that. All right, so let me check some of your comments, see what's going on there. What's your take on what's happening there in Guyana? What's your take on what's going on in Guyana? You see Kevin Coke is here, boy. Let me see what Kevin Coke saying here. Morning, Kevin Coke. The so-called rescue team was woefully unprepared. It's as if they weren't expecting survivors. The survivors are still in their uniforms and looks like they didn't even had a sponge bath. Well, Mr. Coke is talking about this photograph here, and this is what Mr. Coke is talking about. The survivors, they're there. We know that according to the photograph, this survivor is alive. Lieutenant Crawford is alive. And that's good news. Good news to hear. But again, take a look at his facial expression. He is in pain, as you can see. We can just imagine what's going through his mind right now. We can just imagine what's going through his mind. We can just imagine. Again, we can just imagine what's going through his mind. I'm reading some of your comments. Roxanne Best, good morning to you. Emily Durant, good morning to all of you guys. You guys just have to continue to pray for Guyana. It's nothing really much other than those vagabonds stealing people's wealth, stealing people's monies. That's just what they're doing. Yep, sorry guys, as I'm reading some of your comments as well, I'm getting some messages coming in. People are angry right now. And you know what angry people do? I don't want to say it, but when somebody's angry, lots of people are angry as to the situation in the country right now. They are angry at the corrupt PPP regime. Very, very angry. Very angry. Sad situation right now in Guyana. Extremely sad. Sorry, just reading some more comments. Trying to check, see if there's nothing else. There's no update. There's nothing. Everybody in the PPP regime, they are just quiet about every single thing that is happening. Every single thing that's happening, they are quiet. And we just have to wonder why, right? Why do you think Irfan Ali is so quiet? He's not speaking. He's saying absolutely nothing. I just want your comments on that. Why do you think he's quiet? Roxanne Bess, why do you think he's so quiet? So I'm reading a report here. And before we get to the report, Rajesh Singh, good morning to you, Rajesh. Rajesh Singh is saying they sacrifice these men. That's what Rakesh Singh is saying. Thank you so much for that comment, Rakesh. Appreciate it. Connie Alstrom. Good morning, Miss Alstrom. Connie Alstrom is saying he does not know what to do. He, meaning Irfan Ali, does not know what to do. And then we have Garfield Collins is saying because he is stupid. Irfan Ali, that is. He is stupid. That's according to Garfield Collins. You know, they're quick to probably rush and say, Ben Sharp is saying this. I don't give a damn what they say. You know, because if they can insult people and they can say whatever they want, and I'm not subjected to their crap in Guyana, the so-called that dictatorship in Guyana. No, absolutely not. I don't have time with them. I have absolutely no time with them. Let's see what somebody's saying the increase. Marcia Jacquemont is saying the increase is for next year, but let's. Simone Blackman is saying Irfan Ali should resign with immediate effect. Can't go wrong with that. Look, there's a report that says here 5 aircraft, 27 persons were involved in GDF rescue operations. Survivors alert and await extraction. So what the report is saying here now, and we've gone back again to this, they're saying that the survivors are alert, which is good. We're glad that they're saying the survivors are alert. And they're still awaiting extraction. What do I mean extraction? They're awaiting extraction. You go to the dentist, extraction. They're awaiting good weather before they are taken out of the crash site area and straight to a hospital. And that's what's happening. So as of a few minutes ago, there is, the Public Works Ministry now is issuing a statement. Sorry about that, guys. So the Public Works Ministry is issuing a statement. This is what the statement says. A search and rescue satellite aided tracking message was received by air traffic. Rosenben saved the crap. We already know all of that. Oh, the aircraft departed Olive Creek this time. We already know all of that. Region 7. Immediate response coordination. Yeah, save us that. So let's see. The NRCC recommenced its operation at 5 hours on December 7th. 5 aircraft, including the GDF, Skyvan, and Bell 412, were deployed to the base operations at Blake. Okay, 5 aircrafts. 5. I personally would like to know the 5 aircrafts. Whether it's 1 from the GDF, 2 from the GDF, and the rest from where? I'd just like to know. At 10 hours, the Guyana Defense Force Bell helicopter located the crash site and signs of life were observed. However, the insertion of the GDF Special Forces was impaired due to weather. A team led by Colonel Howell was successfully inserted 800 meters from the crash. 800 meters from the crash. Subsequently, the on-scene coordinator reported that there were 2 survivors of the 7 persons on board the aircraft. 2 unsuccessful extraction attempts were made due to the poor weather conditions on and the terrain. Members of the special forces, including 2 medical personnel and the 2 survivors, remain at the crash site awaiting extraction. Let me go back over this here. Members of the special forces, including 2 medical personnel and the 2 survivors, remain at the crash site awaiting extraction. The GDF helicopter and crew are at the base of operation engaging in the extraction exercise. Contact with the special forces at the crash site this morning established that the 2 survivors are alert and are awaiting extraction. Now, this here, let me go back to this. Members of the special forces, including 2 medical personnel and the 2 survivors, remain at the crash site awaiting extraction. Nothing about, they say extraction. Nothing about the 5, the bodies of the 5, And it's interesting that all they're talking about is that the survivors are still there. The 2 survivors are still there. This release didn't mention anything about to the removal of the 5 officers who died. Nothing at all. So my question is whether there was another helicopter that was able to remove the 5 dead soldiers, fallen soldiers, and whisk them away, and the survivors remain. Because there's no mention about any removal of the bodies or so forth or so on. I don't know whether I'm reading into that a little too much. But I'll read it again so that you guys can break it down for all of us who went to IFLOT University. Members of the special forces, including 2 medical personnel and the 2 survivors, remain at the crash site awaiting extraction. Nobody else there, just these guys? What about the 5 bodies? Something, guys. Something. And I get your point there, Roxanne. But of course, there'll be the skeletal remains of them. But still no mention of that. If these senior officers have died in that crash, well, then they got to be their remains and so forth and so on. It's even if they're burnt, the bones and all these things. I'm just saying, mind you, we're just trying to make sense of the whole situation, since we cannot depend on the regime for making any sense for us. They just don't make sense. We cannot expect Barajagdev to make sense and break this thing down for us, or worse yet, Irfan Ali, or even worse yet, the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force. We can't depend on them for anything right now. So we just got to keep speculating. So no further news, no other news anywhere. It's just news just blank out all over. Blank out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. That is why we just have to do this live, to just tell you guys the regime isn't saying anything. And many people are beginning to wonder whether there is a cover-up to this incident. And why the cover-up? We can't just assume that, look, it was bad condition, and that's it. Bad weather condition. We got to also wonder whether there was a mechanical failure of this helicopter. we're hearing from some set that it was a brand new helicopter. We're hearing that it was a brand new second-hand helicopter that had to be spray painted and fixed up on these. So that is what we're hearing, mind you. And so all of these things and more, the regime has to bring out. They have to say something. A statement from the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown says, the U.S. Embassy expresses our deepest sympathies to the families of Brigadier Retired Gary Beaton, Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, Lieutenant Colonel Sean Welcome, and Staff Sergeant Jason Kahn. That's a release from the U.S. Embassy in Georgetown, Guyana. Lots of unanswered questions. And Jack Dew and Irfan Ali, like two pussycats, they've gone into hiding right now. They are in hiding right now. They are ashamed to speak with you guys because they know that they are the ones that cause these problems. They are the ones that cause this problem right now that we are faced with. The folks in Guyana are faced with. Jagdir and Irfan Ali are the cause. And let me just remind you guys that it is Jagdir who wanted to sign a deal with Venezuela to share Essequibo. Take a listen.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Yeah, so Jagdir is asking that a slight concession be made. To make a slight concession. That's all he wanted, a slight concession. Slight concession. And here's where some of y'all, not all of y'all, some of y'all bums gonna raise. Because some of y'all like get vexed with me. And I know when y'all get vexed, and I know when y'all bums just raise. Some of y'all out there. I don't know how to say it. I'm trying to say it to you guys in so many words that, but I'll say it anyways. The installed PPP regime is quiet, extremely quiet. And I know some of you are so smart that you know where I'm getting at right after that. And let me repeat. As expected, the installed PPP regime, the corrupt PPP regime, the murderous PPP regime is so quiet at this time. But why? I'm afraid of some of y'all in the audience there. They're like, I don't want to say it. Carl Miller, I don't know. Idelka Garcia, I'm afraid to say it. I'm afraid to hurt some of your feelings out there. And I'm afraid some of y'all might start, one or two of y'all might start cussing me out. If you guys tell me to say it, I'll say it. I noticed we have Walter Milling is asking a question. Are you crazy? I don't know what's that supposed to mean. I don't know what you mean by are you crazy? What are you talking about? Are you asking Jack Dew if he's crazy for wanting to give out a piece of Venezuela to Guyana, to Suriname? I don't know if I should say it. Somebody I prefer, my preference is one of you guys say it out there. One of you guys say it out there for me, man. Look, I don't even know, some of y'all get me nervous, and I'm not usually nervous, But these corrupt people, look, I'm not afraid of you guys, man. I'll say it. Look, y'all can't beat me. I'll say it. So we expect these Pacus in the PPP to be quiet. They have nothing to say. They have no leadership qualities. Nothing at all. Nothing they have. But what about the man, like, I don't want to say it anymore, man. Like, somebody get a string there, yeah. Somebody get me in a bottle, and every time I go to say it, like, yeah, I'll pull in this string or pull in this tighten in this bottle that shutting me up a little more. But let me try to get one of you in the audience first to spill the beans. Oh man. You guys, look at you guys. You guys are giving me the courage right now. Look at you guys. You guys are giving me the courage right now. Chisholm Moore, Carlin, good morning to you. Get some beautiful and some smart relative. Look at you guys. You guys, I don't know. All right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it now. These Pakus in the PPP regime, these Pakus, Irfan Ali, and all of them, and Jack Dale, they have no leadership skills, none whatsoever. They're a bunch of vagabonds, political bandits. That's who they are. That is why they are so quiet. They're not saying a thing. They're not talking to you guys properly. Right now, the nation needs somebody to talk to them. Not just a talk show host, an ordinary talk show host got to talk to you guys. But what about I don't know, like I can't say it, man. Somebody help me say it. But what about, come on, encourage me a little more to say it. And just you guys encourage me a little more, please. I need some encouragement. Please help me. Help me. I'll take a break and be back. You guys help me. I need to get some courage to say, what about, I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
I think I got some courage right now. I'll say it right now. The PPP regime doesn't have leadership. We see exactly where they get the country, where the country is going. We see how they have corrupted the country. We see how people are starving throughout the country. We notice cost of living gone sky high. Unemployment is the highest. People are complaining throughout the length and breadth of Guyana, all 83,000 square miles of Guyana. People are complaining, and rightly so. People are being discriminated against. Thousands upon thousands of people. We're not hearing anything to calm the people down, and we can't expect the corrupt PPP regime to calm anyone down. But what about come on, guys, help me. Where is Francine and the whole crew? And what about, I'm reading your comments, guys. Look, I'm not afraid. I'll say it. What about the opposition? Seriously, guys, what about the opposition? I'm glad somebody prayed for me and I finally got it. I finally got the courage to ask this question. Thank you. What about the opposition? We need the opposition to talk to us. We need the opposition to demonstrate leadership qualities at this time. We need press conferences. Everybody just can't go and block out. You can't say that, oh, and I know one or two of them, and I notice the regular PNC loyalists, they gone into hiding. They get one and two of them they know who they are. I'm not going to call their names, right? They gone, they're peeping, they're waiting to see if I can call. And while they thought that I wasn't going to call them, some of them burning candle and peeling onions and all kind of thing for me not to call. Oh man, it's happening. Calling names. Opposition. What is it that they're doing? They should have had a press conference at Congress Place bright and early this morning, asking for answers. You don't have to know everything to be at a press conference. Talk to the nation. Right now, the people need someone to talk to them. The entire Guyana is in ICU, intensive care unit. That's where the entire Guyana is. And you need somebody to hold your hands and talk to you. Diane Mitchell, don't worry. Everything is okay. Audrey Brown, don't worry. Everything is okay. Everything will be okay. Marcia, don't worry. Candy, don't worry. Lily, don't worry. Yadelka, don't worry. Everything will be okay. Everything is okay. Indra, Jaypradad, everything is okay. Molly, don't worry. Auntie Betty, don't worry. Everything will be okay. That is what the opposition should be doing now, Waveney Doris. That is what needs to be done right now in Guyana. Rastaman, that is exactly what needs to be done. You can't wait when all of these things are done with, and you, the ordinary Guyanese people, are the ones who are doing the fighting on social media and even on the ground. You guys are brave enough to stand up against an oppressive PPP regime and against that madman Maduro, who is no different. That madman Maduro is no different than Jack Dio. Venezuela has a madman by the name of Maduro, and Guyana has a madman by the name of Jack Dio. So it's two madmen, one in Venezuela, one in Guyana. Well, Irfan also. And imagine this madman, Barra Jack Dio, is telling that other madman, his counterpart in Venezuela, that the madman in Venezuela is ill-treating Venezuelans. That is true. That is so true. The madman in Venezuela is ill-treating his citizens. And the same thing that madman is doing in Guyana. You guys get it, right? So this madman says that the madman in Venezuela jails people for treason and for speaking out against the... He does that too in Guyana. They kill people under the PPP regime in Guyana. That is what they do in Guyana. Under his presidency, hundreds of persons were slaughtered, assassinated. Scores were jailed. Trumped up charges from treason to sedition to all sorts of things under his presidency, this madman's presidency. And that is why, again, going back to them being quiet at this time in Guyana, people need to hear from the opposition. The opposition is one step away from the presidency. from controlling the country. And they can't duck and hide and not speak out and all these sort of things. They need to come together as a team. Not only should we talk about inclusivity that is lacking in the regime, that should be the order of the day for the opposition. Inclusivity, you involve everybody. Everybody can be leader at the same time or presidential candidate at the same time. This presidential candidacy stuff is not a fashion show where you jump on a stage and take a quick selfie and believes that that is politics. And walk around and grab a little selfie. It is more than that people are looking for. People are not looking for superficial politicians and superficial leaders. They want leaders and politicians who are brave enough to not only talk the talk, walk the walk as well. Those who are not weak and are not scared to go out there and stand up for the people's rights, whether they're locked up or whether they're jailed. That is what people are looking for in leaders. And those are good leadership qualities. And people, the ordinary people, know who the cosmetic politicians are. You think it was by luck or chance that Obama became president of the United States of America? He was doing his work. He wasn't simply working in an office, enjoying the good life. He was in the streets of Chicago, beating the streets of Chicago, working with ordinary people, building a resume before he made that big move. And he made it because the time was right. The people said the time was right. He didn't force himself upon the people. When he made his announcement, people looked around and said, this guy got good works. He has been doing good stuff. He's a lawyer. He represented people. All manner of things he did. He was charismatic. He knew what he was talking about. He wasn't fumbling or whatever, or he wasn't out taking selfies and all these different things. He was doing his work. Come on, opposition folks. All of you guys, most of you guys, gone into hiding. What if there wasn't social media? How would you guys have been doing the people's work? Doing the people's work is not just coming on Facebook and post 2 pictures and you run away. Or as soon as something happens, you post a quick picture on Facebook and you're gone and hide. That is not politics. That is not, Facebook is not politics. Take 2 nice pictures, pose up, dance up, and y'all post it on Facebook and that's it. Gone on Facebook, put on Facebook Live, talk, and disappear. Call that representation of the people. When was the last time you see quite a few of these politicians in the opposition on the ground, in communities, meeting and talking with the people? If we see those sort of things on Facebook, we'll be happy. Meaningful discussions, mind you. Not a quick drive-by, zoop, take a selfie. No, meaningful. Come up with programs. Empower the people. And you don't empower the people by, oh, it's Christmas time coming up. We can give them a couple of hampers. That is not empowerment. Come up with various programs. Some of them might say, we just do that, you know. No, politics is now we just do that. Where's the evidence that you do that? It's not about a quick handout. Give them a basket. Give them something for Christmas, and that is politics. And that the people owe you guys, the people must embrace you guys because of a few baskets. And then when the Kunumunus and the PPP give crumbs out, handouts out, then it becomes a crime too. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You can't condemn these Pakus in office for giving out people crumbs, and some of y'all in the opposition rushing out, giving out people crumbs too. People want more than crumbs. This is not a crumbs nation that we're living in, filled with people who only waiting for crumbs and handouts. The people can do better. The people deserve better. The people want better. Empower them, empower their children. Come up with programs in Linden, in Ituni, and so forth. Don't just talk about the problems. Find solutions, however little those solutions are. Find solutions. Somebody might say, Ben, sure, they might want to cost some of them, not all. But I remind them, even in the 23 years being in the opposition, we don't believe in just talking. Find out about the history and the works of the Ben Sharp Foundation during the rough times under the PPP regime. Thousands of people were empowered through a variety of courses. Y'all could do that too. Y'all could do that too. What is stopping you guys? Politics is not about handouts or walking around in a community and give somebody a small piece and feel that that's politics. Oh, I just give somebody, I just give people a little $1,000, you know. I just give people a little $1,000. That's not politics. That's not politics at all. But I guess that's Guyana, right? It is Guyana. Everything goes to the right. Everybody wants to be leader. Everybody wants to be presidential candidate. Everybody wants to be big. Everybody wants to be big. Everybody big. If you feel, some of them feel so big when they're in the opposition, you could just imagine if they're given a little taste of power, what's going to happen? I see somebody say, look, they're fed up. We need real leaders now. Now it's time to see real leaders step forward. Not people who just want to possess themselves. We already know that this regime has to go. This regime has to go. This regime has to go. And that is why these guys in the opposition, they need to get their acts together, and quickly. Time is running out. As quickly as possible, they need to get their act together. All right, so as we get back to this here, so no word again. I got some folks sent some messages out to the big wigs of the Guyana Defense Force and nothing at all. Checking to see if there's any further release on anything, and nothing at all. Reading some messages from some folks. And so now the very US that they usually curse, Jack Dale and Irfan and all these Pacus, curse the US. Now they are on their knees. They're on their knees begging the US to go in and save Guyana from that murderous individual in Caracas, Maduro. Begging the US now. They're not begging China. They're not begging China, you know. They're not saying to the Chinese government, send troops from China. They're not saying to Saudi Arabia, send troops to to Guyana. They're not saying to Maya Motley to send troops. You see where they're saying? They're not saying to Russia, send troops. They're saying to the Americans, please, President Biden, send troops to Guyana to save Guyanese. And I do hope that the Biden administration do send troops to the border. I do hope to help save Guyanese, not to help the corrupt PPP regime, the murderous PPP regime, but to help save Guyanese. There was a statement issued by Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and it's a good statement. And Hakeem Jeffries and Yvette Clarke, they're always on our side. That's why we got to continue to vote them into office. Continue to vote them into office. They deserve higher and bigger positions as well. But Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader, the aggressive action undertaken by the Maduro regime to infringe on Guyanese sovereignty is deeply disturbing. And that he stands with the Biden administration in calling on Venezuela to respect territorial integrity and so forth and so on. Thank you so much, Congressman Jeffries, and thanks to Congresswoman Yvette Clarke as well. Mind you guys, Hakeem Jeffries, right, is on the side of Guyana. All Guyanese. Hakeem Jeffries is saying respect the sovereignty. Respect Guyana. Respect Guyanese. But isn't it the same Hakeem Jeffries that Irfan and Jack Dale and all these people cuss out? Cuss them out? Same Hakeem Jeffries is now coming to the rescue of Guyana, of Guyanese. The same Hakeem Jeffries they cuss out is calling on the Biden administration to stand with Guyana. These Nimakaram in the PPP hierarchy. The Katahars, the Korhis, the ungrateful, you know what? Like these guys, ungrateful pack of dunces. Look at them. Look at who is coming to the rescue of Guyana. A man that they have attempted to insult. A man who is 10 times brighter than them. Hakeem Jeffries. Saying here, the aggressive action undertaken by the Maduro regime to infringe on Guyanese sovereignty is deeply disturbing. I stand with the Biden administration in calling on Venezuela to respect the territorial integrity of Guyana. Peace and stability in South America and the Western Hemisphere are critical to America's national security. Accordingly, the rule of law must be maintained in the region. Lawlessness and authoritarian aggression should never be tolerated. Hakeem Jeffries. The same man, this wicked guy, this demonic guy on the screen, Barra Jack Dale. And this one here, this hustler here, they insulted that reputable and decent congressman, Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, is coming to the rescue of all of Guyana. But yet some of them, because of these pakus in the PPP, some of those so-called leaders in Queens, jump up and cuss up Hakeem. And Hakeem this, Hakeem only attack for them black man. Hakeem was talking then about evidence of racial discrimination by the PPP in Guyana. And he was calling on them, those corrupt PPP leaders in Guyana, to stop discriminating against persons of African descent. And they cuss up Hakeem because of that. But look now, they're begging for help. They're begging. Oh, please, are you help Abi? Are you come save Abi? They're not concerned about Guyana, you know. These Pacus are not concerned about saving the people of Guyana. Irfan Ali is more concerned about saving his presidency or presidency than saving the country. But I'm glad that Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and Congresswoman Yvette Clarke and so many others are coming to the rescue of Guyana. Not the rescue of the PPP. And if they feel they're talking to their friends in the international, their friends in the international community know who they are. Remember, they were blacklisted before in terms of not wanting to pass the money laundering bill, not wanting to allow DEA in Guyana. For so many years, they didn't want the DEA to be in Guyana. For so many years, they were blocking, and they are still blocking persons who are on the wanted list of U.S. law enforcement agencies. They don't want those folks to be extradited because they're connected to most of those folks on the extradition list. But suddenly now, America is a darling to these Pacus. They're calling on America, please come and help us. Oh, come and help Abi. Come and help Abi. Begging on their knees. Jack Dale is on his knees right now. Familiar position. On his knees right now, begging America to go in and save them. But when America was saying local government elections should be held, Jack Dale and them said to the Americans, shut up. Don't tell us how to run this country. Don't get involved in our internal affairs. Priya Manikchan cursed out then U.S. ambassador to Guyana, cursed him out at the American residence, ambassador's residence. Cursed him out. Stay out of our business. But now look at them on their knees, begging. Oh, America, are you help Abi, no? Are you help Abi, no? You come help Abi, no? They're not calling China and say, China, oh, come help. They're not calling Russia and say, Russia, come help. No, they're not saying to Saudi Arabia. They're not going to Saudi Arabia and say, Saudi Arabia, help Abi, no? No. They're not going to India, fly to India and meet Modi and say, Modi, namaste, bye. Hey, bye, Aji. Abi need help for Guyana. Send troop na bye. Help Abi, no? No. They're not doing that. Look who. As they say in Buxton or where is it, they say, look who. They're calling on the Americans. Help Abi. Help. Ome mama. Maduro want kill Abi. Maduro want kill Abi. How come help Abi, no? Nobody else they're calling but Americans. Oh, America, stay out of our electoral problem. Stay out of this. Mind your own business. Stay out of this. But now them a beg. Oh, them a beg. Have you ever seen grown men beg like this? It's like, let me don't say it. Well, or let me say it. But have you ever seen big, grown, hardback, well, so-called men beg like this? Oh, America, save Abi, help Abi. These ungrateful wretches, PPP corrupt individuals. No, America, help Abi. Look, I'm glad that the Americans are in there. I'm glad. I'm actually glad. And I'm also glad that Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, is saying, look, America is not going to turn a blind eye on Guyana. America is going to help the people of Guyana. President Biden has said the people of Guyana. Blinken, the Secretary of State, has said that also. You know why? Not because they love the PPP. They know that the PPP is corrupt. These guys know almost everything about Barajactier and Irfan Ali, just like they knew everything about Manuel Noriega of Panama. They knew everything. They know everything. They know how corrupt these bastards are in Guyana. They know. They know that Barajactier is not an angel. They know he's corrupt. They know that there's a high possibility that he has lots and lots of billions of dollars hidden in foreign accounts, including in China. Look, I'm glad the Americans are going to be helping the Guyanese people. That is what I'm glad. The same Americans that they cuss out. Damn ungrateful wretches. These PPP pacus. All right. Gosh, that was quite a workout there, right? Quite a workout. Beg, 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 beg. They're beggars. If they're not going out in their friendly countries like Saudi Arabia and so forth, begging for loans so that they can get kickbacks upon kickbacks upon kickbacks upon kickbacks. A pack of thieves they are. Begging, begging. Guyana is supposed to be rich, billions of dollars in oil, but nothing is going to the people of Guyana. Just crumbs. They will soon announce, the corrupt PPP regime will soon announce, oh, salary, bonus, and increase. Oh, we love the people, by throwing crumbs at them and telling them that you love them. How can you love your people with crumbs? How can you do that? Crumbs. That is what it is. And then they're waiting so that some foreign leader would say something, like David Cameron. David Cameron made an announcement not so long ago, and they're running with it. They're desperate for these comments and support from foreign leaders. They're desperate. So David Cameron has issued a statement in support of Guyana. They think that because these foreign leaders are issuing statements, that those statements are in support of them, the PPP. Nope. And I want the PPP supporters to know that the statements that we are seeing and hearing are coming out as a result of what they're standing for, democracy. They're not standing for the PPP. It's not that they are friends of the PPP. They're not. The PPP is way too corrupt under Jack Deere and Irfan for them to have friends like those. And so those people are issuing statements and they're saying the things that they're saying because they are with the people of Guyana, not the PPP. They are with the people of Guyana. And they know that it is wrong what that madman Maduro is doing and saying. And just watch it. Mark my words here. You guys could, yeah. Maduro is going to self. You know, the wound self-inflicted, that is what is happening to him right now. Don't be surprised, guys. Don't be surprised if his own men around him, Maduro that is, if his own men I'm just not, the word not, his own men around him. You never know. You just never know with these oppressors what happened. You just never know. His own men might decide that they want to take power. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? What's happening right now? Maybe his own military officers might be planning against him, Maduro. Who knows? Who knows, right? It's not like they haven't planned that before. But Maduro has done, just like Barajactier and Irfan Ali, they have done so much to hurt their country. Maduro has basically stolen the oil wealth, the little crumbs that he got, took it for himself and his friends and his family. Same in Guyana. Little oil wealth that Guyana gets, the little crumbs that they get, the PPP regime stole it for their friends and families, and crumbs. Very little crumbs go to the people of Guyana. Crumbs go to the people of Guyana. Maduro is no different than Jack Dale and Irfan. Irfan Ali and Jack Dale are no different than Maduro. There's no difference there. None whatsoever. None at all. And sometimes I wonder whether this whole thing here is karma coming back to bite the PPP, because they choke up so much, they jare, they chate Maduro so much. Look, Donald Ramatari even squeezing Maduro's hand. It's like Maduro was like queen for them, queen of the pack, like Lady Patra, queen of the pack, queen or king of the pack or whatever for them. Look at Chartman. What's his name? The so-called Minister of Finance. Look at him. Maduro hugging him up because he know money coming there. Finance man. Look at who hold on to his hand. God ever knows. These days, all forms of relationships are formed. To each his own, mind you. All forms of relationships. Look at this relationship with Ramatari and Maduro might just be more than just politics. Who knows? Send the photo to Otisha. Let Otisha tell us what's going on there, really. Send it off. Let's see what's happening. And so let me take you guys back. And that is why I don't want you guys to be fooled, you know. Listen to this carefully. You see this photograph with all of them there? And listen to this.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Did they make a slight concession with Maduro? This seemed to be the very thing Jack Dale is running away from. But I want you guys to hear this. Jack Dale sold Guyana out. Jack Dale sold Guyana out, and now suddenly he's pretending as though he cares. Jack Dale doesn't care about Guyana. Jack Dale cares about making money for himself, not for the ordinary people. For 23 years, we have seen hell. The people have seen hell in Guyana. And for most of those years, under Barrett Jack Dale's presidency. A shame and a disgrace. Shame and a disgrace. That is why he's running away from this particular statement. He knows he has been caught with his pants down. He knows he has been caught with it down. And he's ashamed.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
Yeah, he wants a slight concession. Slight concession. They're not telling the foreign media this, that he wants a slight concession between Venezuela and Guyana. A slight concession of Venezuela, of Essequibo. A slight concession. Look at this. October 24, 2015. It wasn't 1915. It was 2015. Look at what it says here. Make concession to Venezuela, Jack Dale. Floats ceding maritime space. Make concession to Venezuela. Jack Dale said that. Jack Dale said that. Give away a piece or have some sort of economic relationship, partnership with Venezuela and Essequibo. In other words, give Essequibo an opportunity, give Venezuela an opportunity to make billions in Essequibo and Guyana and Venezuela must share Essequibo. Jack Dio said this. Make concession to Venezuela. Jack Dio said this, guys. I am not the one who's saying it. Jack Dio said this.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
And then when you approach him, he runs from it. He says Catty Hughes is bad for saying for telling the people what this Pacu said. We are not the Pacus. This guy and his goons and that board nest Duncify goat one, who loves to curse and tell people between the crotch and the pattern, this and all manner of things. Only certain y'all call Otisha and let Otisha finish the rest, please. But this is what is happening. And these are the people who are heading Guyana right now. These are the Pacus. These are the Pacus who are heading Guyana right now. This Pacu, this crass, begging American for help. American should just, the helicopters should just pick them up and bring them away to America. Bring them away to America. All of the gold smugglers and all of them that are wanted by some U.S. law enforcement agencies, just pick all of them up, and bring them away, all of them. Since they want America there, bring all of them, pack all of them up. Go and look for Odinga, Lumumba, every single one of them. Kwame McCoy, Jason Abdullah, bring all of them, all of the convicts, bring all of them. They want America. America, help us. Help us. Help us. Bloody fools.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
And you gotta get probably more. And men gotta get about 4 women too. You gotta get a woman for tap your phone up. You gotta get a woman for comb your hair, a woman for brush your teeth, and clean out your nose. Sad situation what's happening in Guyana. Really, really sad situation. Norton is calling. Norton calls for retooling of military and more support for military personnel. You can't have that, Mr. Norton. You can't have that under the corrupt regime. You can't. And you can't, in mentioning Jack Dio and Irfan to do something and using the word retool. Can't use them and retool in the same sentence. They're not going to do that. They're not going to they may retool, but they're not going to retool the military. They're not going to do that. They're not concerned about the military, Mr. Aubrey Norton. We all know that. They're not concerned about that at all. We got to stop calling. We got to stop calling on them to do this and do that, Mr. Norton. It's just like they have a visually impaired, 100% visually impaired individual. Hey, Stevie Wonder, come see this thing. Come. And you keep calling on Stevie. Come see this thing here. Come see this thing here. And expect Stevie Wonder to see it. Or a deaf man or a woman. Hey, come hear this. Come. That is the PPP. Stop calling on them to do what is right. They're never going to do what is right, Mr. Norton. They're not going to do what is right. Now, they might send quickly to buy 2 or 3 more helicopters because Guyana get oil money now, right? And they're going to go back to Parliament since Aubrey Norton is calling on them to retool the military, that is, to retool the military. They are going to go into Parliament next week. And since Aubrey Norton is calling on the PPP, Jack Day, and them to retool the military, they're going to take his offer up now and say, yes, we are ready to retool the military. And we want some money to buy weapons. And then they're going to take the taxpayers' money and give it to their friends and cronies to go and buy tools, go and buy weapons for the army because they're in need of it right now. And so right now they might have a market for it. One of their cronies might say, look, I was able to secure some weapons. And we're going to buy these weapons, hundreds of millions of US dollars. They might take an advance from Exxon for that. Who knows? And then they're going to say they have 2 or 3 helicopters and other equipment that they need. Aubrey want them to retool? Well, they're going to retool on you, Aubrey. They're going to retool on you. They're going into Parliament. They're going to ask you guys to support them for money. They're going to say, well, look, we want the opposition to help us retool. We want the money to do that. And so we are going to introduce this bill here, vote on it right now, and watch them force Aubrey and all of them to say, yeah, you want to retool? Well, retool in your backside in the opposition. Y'all retool. Don't call on the PPP to do anything good because they're going to find a way to pretend that they're doing something good once money is involved, and they're going to continue to thief the taxpayers' money. That is what they're doing. So Aubrey wants them to retool, they're going to retool. They're going to retool. It's retooling for y'all in Parliament next week. We're tools for y'all in Parliament next week, from hammer to chisel. And mind you, I did say hammer, right? From hammer to chisel to all manner of things. And, sometimes I feel, Jack Dave and them think that an Irfan, they could make the opposition pakus, Sometimes I get this impression. Sometimes I get a lot of impressions going through a lot of things going through my mind about some of these opposition members of Parliament. But I don't want to say it. Some of you already know, but I don't want to say it. We're seeing some signs that we shouldn't be seeing. We're seeing some signs that we really shouldn't be seeing at all. But the signs are there. All right, guys, I'm going to head out of here. We got some work to do. Yeah. Not a politician. I'm not a member of Parliament. And so I can afford to talk to you guys on social media. Most of the times our opposition politicians talk to you and they get this sort of vibrancy. It's when they're over in the US, they're going to do this. They talk more in the US and less in Guyana. I wonder why. Talk up more, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And as soon as they gone back there, they gone into hiding. They're ducking and hiding. Duck and, they duck and hide right now. They're ducking and hiding. You get nothing for say, nothing, just like the regime. Nothing for say, nothing for do. But wait until all this thing over. You see how many of them running back. They want to be presidential candidate. They want to be leader of the party. They want to do this. They want to do that. And in times of needs, they go and duck and hide. We get them duck and hide politicians in Guyana. Anyways, I'm out of here. God bless you guys. And for those of you who are celebrating your birthdays, happy birthday. Happy birthday to Linda. I think I saw somewhere that said Melly Mel is celebrating her birthday. Melly Mel, somebody got to tell Melly Mel that once you reach a certain age, y'all got to stop celebrating y'all birthdays. Once y'all reach over 60, y'all stop celebrating your birthday, except Rhonda Lane. Melly Mel's birthday is today. Somebody call her and tell her that I say happy 60th birth anniversary to Melly Mel. And all others who are celebrating your birth anniversaries, a happy birthday to you guys as well. I think they got some folks get birthdays coming up. Happy birthday to you guys. And those of, especially those fallen soldiers, their relatives, condolences to their families, their friends, and their colleagues. For those who are going through whatever, remembering some loved ones. In my case, my son, been 29 years old. He's in 2002, December 8th, this very day, while I was in solitary confinement on a trumped-up treason charge by that corrupt man, Barra Jack Day, that evil man. Karma ain't done yet, Karma ain't done as yet, Barrett. Karma ain't done yet. Trust me, karma ain't done yet. All right, so I'll see you guys. If there's any breaking news story, you'll hear from me. If not, I'll see you guys later on this evening, right here on 107.1 FM. So long.